India's Prime Minister is expressing sadness at the death of the woman whose gang rape sparked mass protests across the country. Manmohan Singh has promised to channel his energy into a constructive course of action. The 23-year-old medical student died in a Singapore hospital after suffering severe organ failure.
In the end, she succumbed to her injuries because the scale of those injuries was very grave. The family, of course, is shattered by this development. At the same time, they realize that the best possible medical attention was provided to her, and in the end, it was the scale of her injuries which proved too much for the medical treatment which was provided to her to overcome.
Divya, Gopalan joins us now from New Delhi. Divya, already now reaction starting to come in India to this latest development. Wrap that for us, would you?
Sammy, the government is still waiting for reaction from the public on this. We've heard government reaction, we've heard some ministers express their condolences. But here's the thing, what they are worried about now is how the public is going to take the news and how the public is going to express it. Now, if you recall, just last weekend there were mass protests already regarding the state of the government and how the government doesn't pay enough attention to sexual crime in the country. All this, as you say, was triggered by the assault on the 23-year-old, a brutal assault on her, which shocked the nation, which got so much attention, which the details were eventually leaked out, and an incident that normally would be swept under the rug and you wouldn't hear about. But people heard about it, people were outraged about it, they took to the streets for it. So now the government is waiting to see what they do, and they're preempting any type of mass reaction. I understand in New Delhi itself, the government has set up blockades, barricades that blocked India Gate, so protesters will not go there. Now, India Gate was the scene of those violent protests last weekend. So the government is bracing itself for reaction from the public, but at the same time trying to stem any reaction that could come out on the streets.
Okay, and Divya, what are medical sources saying about the deterioration in the condition of the victim before she died?
Now, Sammy, when the victim came to hospital on December 16th itself, she was in a very bad condition. She was already, it was difficult to revive her, but somehow they did. She went through 3 operations in Delhi itself, and in between those operations, she managed to record a statement for the police as to what happened to her. That will be used in the courts. On December 26th, her condition deteriorated even more. They flew her to Singapore to a hospital that specializes in organ transplant. All her internal organs had started failing, but by the time she got there, her heart had, she'd had cardiac arrest, she had a blood clot to the brain, and her organs were close to failure, if not failed already. So she was just mainly being revived, and it seemed that she could not live through the injuries that she had sustained. And so unfortunately the news came just a few hours ago that she had not made it through the night.
Very sad news indeed. Thanks so much, Divya.